What's up guys, it's Willford here, and this right here is my 100th video on my YouTube channel. After 2 years of doing YouTube, over 2 years, I finally reached 100, the big triple digits, so I wanted to do something special. I'm going to give you guys an insight on this finished project that is my Edwan Still Breathing remix. Before I do though, I want to ask you guys something real quick. My friend Sebastiaan, who you guys also know as Sebastiaan S, he did the vocal for Where We Begin. He was given an opportunity to go to Sigit Festival, and we need you guys' votes. What you have to do is you go to the link, the first link in the description, then you click on this button here which says Inzendingen, then you go to the webpage with the submissions, and then you can see a snippet of our lyric video from Where We Begin. Then you can click on stem, which means vote in Dutch. And that's how you can vote for him, and I would really appreciate it if you did. Leave a comment if you did. We're going to go through the comments and just thanking everyone individually. Okay, so now to the track. I'm just going to go from start to finish. I'm going to provide time codes in the description for which parts, so like the intro, the breakdown, the vocal, the drop, the build-up, like that. I'm going to provide those in the description so you can skip to the ones you want. But let's just start with the intro right here. So it's a fade in of just this sample right here, and the pluck chords, and like that. So it was also volume automated, so it goes right into the breakdown. Then I have a reverse note for this piano right here. I'll get to that soon, but yeah. Easy. And down here we fade in the pad, and that's basically the intro. I didn't want to make some kind of a kick clap intro because I really didn't feel like it. That's really it. Then the crash, which was part of this sample, and this crash here, and just the guitar right here fading in and the pad slowing down. Okay, so then the vocal comes in, which I'll get to near the end of the video. I'll do the vocal later. So right now I'm just going to focus on the actual layers. So I have a breakdown pad right here, which has notes aligned like this, and it's slowly but surely, it gets... the cutoff frequency gets eliminated, so at the end right here is the cutoff frequency is just completely gone. Cutoff filter is just completely gone, I meant. So that's for those breakdown chords, and that is this silent patch right here, the sticks. I've been really loving the sticks packs. I really suggest them. I used an ARP preset for this one. Most of his preset packs are free, so you can just download them for free there. Then I introduced this piano right here, which is introduced by this reversed note, and it goes like this. It's really meant to fill in those frequencies that weren't really touched by the other layers yet. It's just a Nexus grand piano with an EQ to eliminate the high end, I think more EQ to eliminate the high end, and this frequency right here to make it a little bit wider. I just took the mid and got rid of some frequencies there and added some reverb because I thought it sounded cool. Then some ambience. You might be able to tell from my projects that I really like the Kashmir sample packs as well. So this is just a little bit of ocean ambience, and that loops around like that. Okay, now to the acoustic guitar. That's literally me just playing some notes on the guitar and then recording it, so it sounds like this. Just me playing, and then the harmony on that. And what I did here is I first compressed it big time, so it didn't really spark out the mix that much. I really wanted this sound to be in the background of the mix, and I added this acoustic guitar layer simply because I wanted to mimic the acoustic feel that the original had. Because you might remember in the original, it also has an acoustic layer, but it's a little bit more complicated, a little bit more in the foreground, and I wanted to mimic that but didn't want to simply copy it. So the second is a Pro-Q, where I boost the high end and cut the lows. Here I cut some of the top high end to counteract that slightly, and then a bunch of reverb. So without all of the layers, it sounds like this. You might be able to see here why I cut the high end. It's because there is just some kind of a thump in the low end. And if you remove it, it's really nice and clean. Also, something I did is don't know if I can find it here. No, I have to search here. Right here. You can see that one of the layers is panned to the left with this button here, and one of the layers is panned to the right. So that gives that stereo effect you're getting. Then let's get to the pad, which is just, it's incredibly simple. It's literally just, let me just select it. It's just a silent patch, key icicle, which I had, and then it sounded like this in the beginning, and I just EQ'd it to sound like that cut off thing. And I made it a little bit more stereo down here, and automated the volume. So that's basically the breakdown layers. Altogether, they sound like this. So the natural ambience with the reverse note, the piano, and the chords. Altogether, they sound like this. So it's a really serene and calm arrangement we have here. Then the electric guitar comes in, and I think I still have the video of me playing this guitar because I wanted to upload it as a teaser, but I never got to it. So here's that video. And it was just me going with the original melody because I wanted to include something again of the original track in this one to make people remember the original track. And it just sounds like this. Without effects, it sounds like this. Really soft. Okay, so what I did for the effects is first I added a wave shaper to distort it. Then I added compression to counteract that pluckiness, just like with the original guitars, with the acoustic guitars. Then I distorted it. For the electric guitar vibe. Then some equalizing, more high end, less low end. Then I added a sound goodizer. And then for that airy feel, I added a fruity reverb. But then I got basically all of them. I got rid of the dry, put up the ER a little bit, and put up the wets. And then it sounds like this. Because I, again, wanted that background vibe of it. And then another layer I add right here is the breakdown sub. Which is just a sub. It does what it says on the tin. The Harmer Simple Bass presets, I'm in love with it. You can hear it on basically every single one of my tracks. I eliminated some mids, some low mids of it, and I compressed it so it was a lot more consistent. And then it sounds like this. These rays of sun and beam. I really think the harmonies of the acoustic guitars and the electric guitar really go well together. And then there's this uplifter right here to go in the more powerful part, so to speak. My computer's having some difficulty with it, but okay. So, I have this other sweep transition right here. Which is just, I really like that sound to it, so I kept it like that, and then a sweep down. Then up here, I introduced the main melody. I think I have the kickstart here. So it doesn't have the side chaining on it, which I will cover in the drop when I get to the leads. So down here I have some kind of a kick, but it isn't really a kick. It's just some kind of a low end thump, which comes in at half of the power part right here. And it's basically just a normal kick with the high frequency cuts just dimmed away. It sounds, normally it would sound like this, but I made that of it. Down here we have the chords at full cutoff. And we have the sub bass, the piano just as usual, an impact, the airstrike. I really like this one, you'll find it at most of my tracks as well. Then we have a high clap, which is just the Kashmir clap, I think. Just the Kashmir clap. I really like this one. It adds a lot of power to your drop. Then I added some more chords. These are actually the chord synths I use in the drop, I think. Or it was just one of the layers, I think. With the side chaining gone, and I dropped some of the levels of it. And the pad in the background here also gains volume for some atmosphere. And that's that part basically, so it sounds like this. So now it goes into the build-up. The lead 1 channel volume drops down because I have a lead pattern right here, which is just the lead 1 and the lead 6 layers. You can hear it drop down. Like that. Then I have these Felicity snares samples. I really like these. I got these from a friend, I think. They are supported by this build-up right here. You can hear they support each other very well. There we have the GR Thunderboom together with the Impact Strike. The Thunderboom we recognize from the beginning right here, and the Impact Strike from down here. To give it some extra power. Then the breakdown chords just go on, but they go down slightly. At the end here, they go down slightly to improve the transition. Then here we have the drop chords basically. And they are with the sidechaining because you can see it's automated back in right here. And the chords volume also gets back in automated. Then right here we have a band 1 frequency envelope, and this is basically just a high pass for the entire track, for the entire build-up, so the bass gets eliminated. Mostly the bass from this sample right here. So the drop hits harder. Then right here the claps just go on to support the build-up again. Then right here we have the spaceship beam build-up. And here to support that one, I have this one right here. This thingy right here is just to support the extra crash here. And then another uplifter. So many uplifters. And then down here I have a low end riser, what I called it. Which was just there to fill up the low end when it needed to be, because it sounded a little bit empty down there. And right here we have more chords. So then at the end we have the fill, and the fill is very, very everywhere. Okay, so first we have a sub drop, easy. Then we have this thingy here, which is just a small snare I arranged in this little pattern. Then this fill here, together with this one. So, and then we also added this. Wow, there was so much. Okay, we also have this fill to give it that hollow feel, which a lot of my favorite progressive house tracks have. And then I added the tom to give it a little bit more of a rhythm, like that. So altogether, the fill sounds like this. Like that. And I think it sounds really, really cool, really just overall exactly what it needed to be in my head. So altogether, the build-up sounds like this. Then we go into the drop, which is always my favorite part to work on. I always do the drop first. So the drop leads right here. It's 7 layers. That's how it sounds on itself. So lead 1. Nice and plucky. I like my leads plucky. Back again. You'll see many sticks sound banks in here. But of course they're all modified to fit the style I was going for. So more white noise leads and more pluckiness to support that. This was just to fill up the mids a little bit more. I just really like the pluckiness of these leads. This one was made for the build-up, I think, I remember. But then I added it in a drop as well because I really liked the sound of it. And this one right here, I don't know if you know about orchid drops, but I learned about orchid drops recently, and oh boy. In itself, it doesn't really sound that good, but listen to the drop leads with and without the orchid drops. Listen how much room that adds to the lead. I really like it. So for the processing, I route my leads to alter a separate mixer track in case I want to do something to them. So for instance, with lead 2, I wanted to remove some of that ugly low end. And for lead 3 and 5, I panned one to the left and one to the right to give it more of a stereo feel. Like that. I didn't even do anything with leads effects too. I was going to, but I didn't. So I didn't really need this at all. But for the processing, without processing, the leads sound like this. And with the processing, I first compressed it to glue the sound together. You can hear a slight difference in there. Then I added a clean master RMS Maximus as an exciter. Then more exciting, FabFilter Saturn. Then I added a Pro-Q 2 to get rid of the ugly low end. You can really see that low end right there, we didn't really need that at all. Then I removed some of these frequencies here because they were annoying me slightly. Then the reverb. So much reverb. Then a slight delay on it too. I added an ozone imager to give the lead more stereo feel. Oh no, a more mono feel I can see. Because, well, there aren't any frequencies down here, so that wasn't really needed. But I thought it was a little bit too stereo. Yeah. So to control it a little bit more, I added the imager. Then this is for effects. I can just automate this right here and have a low pass filter. And then the Kickstart for sidechaining. And that's the leads. Let's just close all of these. Now on for the chords. Those are a little bit more simple. So the chords were 3 layers. You can really hear them supporting each other very well. For the processing, I didn't individually process them. Then for the effects, without effects, it sounds like this. First, I put a glue on it to glue it together again. A little bit of compression. Then Maximus on the same presets as I had on the lead. Just as you can see, it levels it out a little bit more and gives it a lot more power to it. You can hear this one makes it a little bit brighter, and this one gets rid of that ugly low end again, just like with the leads. Then I added a D-Blue glitch for the effect you hear. That's that. Then just a little bit more EQ and the sidechain. Cool, cool. So those were the chords. Then onto the bass. Okay, for the mid bass it sounded like this. You can really hear it doing a different rhythm to the melody, and that's really what I wanted for this track. I wanted a different melody in the mid bass than the chords to give it a little bit more of a chaos feel. So if you remove the effects from the mid bass, prepare your ears. First, I cut the low end, obviously, to make room for the sub bass that I'm going to add in that region right there. Then I cut some annoying frequencies and boost some high end, like that. And then I added the same glitch, but with a second glitch here. And you can hear it going up as well. That's just really the notes playing, because you can see it going up here, and I have some legato on the bass. And then the sidechain. And for the individual layers, it sounds like this. This one is really the growliest of them all. So that's how that sounds. Then for the sub, just a lot of compression, because I wanted the sub to be very even. Then a Maximus, I think this does nothing. And then same glitch as the mid bass. Different side chaining though. This one has the sub bass chain preset on it and not 100%. So that's basically all the main layers in the drop done, which sound like this together. Okay, that's cool. And then for the basic percussion, we have the kick. Just a kick. Without the effects, it sounded like this. So that's not really too much of a difference. I boosted some high end on it, and that's basically it. Then for the ride, just a ride, nothing too special about it. Made it a little bit more sharp. Then the kick claps, which were basically the same as the high claps, but I think, yeah, these have a little bit less low end for leave room for the kick. Then the snare, which was this layer right here, combined with that one to give it a little bit more high end, a little bit more punch. And then for the hat, in this pattern. And then the rest is just layers and layers of effects. So I'm just going to run you through really quick what the effects on this were. Let's just mute these so we can focus solely on the effects. So first we have a hover, which plays one tone through the entire drop and is sidechained like that. We have some white noise. Just plain white noise. We have our crash here, which is basically just Kashmir. Okay, so that's that. Let's go further. So, to support the white noise in the drop, I added some more crashes here. Then I added this fill right here. And I'm really proud of what I did here because I think it just sounds so cool. So the main fill is just this. It's just some WA and Kashmir fills combined. But this one right here, this right here is basically a glitch I found in the glitch plugin that I was using, because ever so often it would just do this, and then I recorded it and put it in here, and I removed the chords mid, bass, and sub at that moment, and it has the really cool slide effect, and I gated it too. You can see the gate I used. It's a 1/4 beat gate, and it's just so cool. I really like it. This one is just another combination of this snare, which I used right before the drop too, and some more fills and a sub drop right here. So now we have this little empty part with just a kick and the hover playing and a hat. And it comes back in with all the power. With this layer right here as well, which is just yet another hover. I did some slide processing on it. Without all the effects, it sounded like this. And with it sounds like this. And I added an ARP as well, just to support that layer right here. And you might recognize that layer because it comes more in the foreground later in the track, but for now it's just a background thingy. And as you can see, I panned that a little bit to the right, and that's because this sample right here naturally panned slightly to the left, as you can see here. So I thought I'd balance that out with this ARP. And this has that cool stutter effect as well, so without it just sounds like this. And later in the drop, you can actually hear this thingy here. Here you can see that I disabled the grow speed. This is just another ARP layer, but with the notes louder. So I disabled the grow speed there so that the effect really comes through. Right at the end of the drop, I added the Felicity snares, some exhausts, and one single uplifter. And that's the end of the drop. So let's just unmute all of this and listen to this again. Cool. That's how they all sound together. Then right after the drop, I didn't really know what to do. So what I thought I would do is I would change the beat slightly. So as you can see, the drop just starts on the first beat of a measure right here. But right here, I changed the beat so that it starts one beat before a new measure starts. And that gives a cool effect in the new drop, but I'll get to that later. So what you can see here... Okay, some things already pop out. I used the ARP here, but at a very low volume compared to the drop. I used the exact same ARP as a background sound. Then the Thunder Boom and the sub drop here. Guitars come back in. It's basically just the first breakdown, but with a beat. and a stronger sub bass. I think that's basically just it. So the beat right here starts with being just the hats, and slowly the snare comes in, and then the tom. Then it just has the full beat in it. Okay. This is just a little bit of a beat I programmed just in the step sequencer, like this. So beat 1, this was the base of every beat, and it was just simple. Some layers, a kick, with a snare, more snare, a closed hat, a ride, and just the cool toms at the end. And then the second beat was just based off this one. That's what introduces the second breakdown, basically. That tom and that snare. That is what comes right after the drop. And beat number 4 is basically just a simple beat. I can alternate with beat number 1 so that the tom doesn't come every time. So with everything, it sounds like this. So for the second breakdown, I think that's actually it. Just the ARP and the beat added. Another difference is that the sub starts from the beginning, and not like in here the sub comes in at the half. Here the sub comes in right at the start. Oh, another cool thing which I did was I automated the pad volume to go really loud right before the kick comes in. So it comes in with some kind of an extra loud transition. Had a really cool effect to it. Background. Here I added another lead pattern, which is just, I think, oh god, if I can get to it, just lead 6, just a background noise meant to be there, and to harmonize with the electric guitar and the acoustic guitars. Just the uplift again. Goes into this kind of a serene part where only the piano is playing and only the electric guitar is playing. That's it. And the pad, of course. This one electric guitar here, I played in just playing the chords in a cool finger picking pattern. Added the hardcore plugin, which is meant for processing electric guitars, and I added the chorus thingy just like that. Added some EQ, more EQ, compression, reverb, more EQ, and a limiter. I don't know why I added this though. It's just there. I'm not gonna remove it. Then it goes into the build-up again, which I think is exactly the same as this one, other than the fact that I added a kick sound here and here to give it a little bit extra impact. I think it's exactly the same in every single other way. And now for the second drop, which is just the same as the first drop. The arrangement is exactly the same, but a difference is because it is offbeat right here, the glitch effect on the chords, the mid bass and the sub actually gets delayed a beat. You can hear the glitch happening here, but right now that place is at the beginning of a new chord. So instead of glitching at the end of a chord, it glitches at the beginning of the next chord, which gives it a little bit of variation opposed to the first drop. I bet nobody even noticed this, but I really like this, that it actually accidentally happened. You can hear it glitch at the beginning of the new chord. That's basically every aspect of this track except for the vocal and mastering explained, so let's get to that real quick. So, for the vocal is probably the part that I got the most critique on because of the distortion that I added to it, which is really controversial in the comments. I wanted to add a very dark feeling to this track because I really felt like doing that. Usually in my remix, I just mess up the vocal as much as I can. In my Nobody But You remix, I added a vocoder to it. And in every other remix, I've done something unique with the vocals, so I wanted to do that with this one as well. So something I did was I added a lower octave to some parts of the vocal. So you can hear it here.
This crystal sea of yours touches.
You can hear that lower octave to give it a little bit more depth. And then right here at me in the vocal, I added a delay, a very heavy one.
Just me, so gently.
Which is this automation right here. And I'll explain real quick how that actually works. Okay, so right here we have the vocal, which has a fast distortion on it to distort, some compression, an EQ to lift up the high end because I wanted some high end, Spitfish to get rid of the harsh S and T frequencies, this to get rid of the low end, and a fruity balance to automate in the track. Okay, so that delay effect, this is just the same effects, but one octave down. This submix right here is called Heavy Delay, and it has a delay on it, which is just too much. It's just too much.
Just me, so
and if this were on the entire time, it would just kill everything. But there's one key feature to this submix, and that is that the dry volume is completely down. And that's what makes this effect. What this automation clip right here automates is the link to this submix. So right here, you can see that there is no volume at all. And when this volume automation goes up, this one right here goes up. So that means that the original vocal goes through this for just a brief second, just passes through this word, so to speak, this me word.
Just me.
It passes it through the heavy delay, and because it has no dry, it doesn't double the vocal or something, and it just goes with the delay. I hope I explained that somewhat right.
This crystal sea of yours touches me so gently.
You can see that it only responds when this one is activated. And the reverb is done basically the same, but it isn't really automated, it's just there. And the reverb is just that the dry is 100% down, so it doesn't double the vocal. Okay, so in the build-up, I did some cool things with the vocal, so I'd like to discuss that real quick. So let's just single out these, we only need them. So, in the part before the build-up, the power thing, I added some volume to the vocal so it could pierce through the actual other layers that were happening.
I slowly fall into the dark.
Which meant more distortion, which was the main point of critique by the audience, and I agree it does sound a little bit, just slightly ugly, but I actually really like the dark feel that it had to it, so I kept it anyways. So what I do is I just repeat that little bit of vocal. Right here I add a reverb effect, which is somewhere down here probably. It's this one right here. It's a mute solo envelope. Right here you can see the vocal channel pitch envelope, which just rises. And right here, it actually starts up the Kickstart. You can see down here, the Kickstart mute volume envelope. It starts up when this drop vocal hits. So it doesn't interfere with the actual lead layers. Right here, it just volume automates down, so we don't hear the transition between the build-up and the actual drop vocal. I could have exported this part right here, but I didn't want to, basically. And that's it for the vocal. Then on to the mastering. But this isn't really any new information because I just made a video on how I master my tracks, and this one was basically mastered in the exact same way. Right here I have unresolved feedback. I added an ozone imager and an equalizer to get rid of that high and that low. Then added a fruity balance to do this effect where some parts are more powerful than others. Just the normal stuff. And then a FabFilter Pro-L limiter to max out the volume. And that's really it. That's what this track was. If we click on F11 real quick, we can see that I have about 26.5 hours in this project, which isn't bad at all. And yeah, I want to thank you all for watching. Don't forget to vote on Sebastiaan to go to Sujit Festival. Again, the first link in the description. You can follow it all the way there. Thanks so much for watching all those 100 videos, guys. It really means a lot to me. I'm going to try to keep them coming, and I'll see you guys next time, where I finally finish a long-going series on my channel. See ya!